From Spider's need for acceptance to Quaritch's plans for revenge, here are 5 ways Avatar: The Way of Water sets up a sequel. The first one is absolutely insane and might be one of the coolest threads throughout the entire movie. As we all know, Jake Sully's son Loak and Rhea, the daughter of the clan leaders, spark a connection. It might be true love from the moment they lay their eyes on each other. Rhea helped Loak understand his abilities and finally learn about the Way of Water. However, the movie does hint at a huge thing that might happen in the next film. Though these two are currently on-screen friends, there might be a spark of love between the two of them. It's heavily suggested by the end of the film that they're going to be building upon this relationship by growing their friendship even further. In the next Avatar film, it's extremely likely that the two will be much older as well.
It's too small. Hey.
This serves as a great platform to see the two as potential mates for one another, and it might have a huge impact on the clans. We could be seeing a Romeo and Juliet situation in Avatar 3. God, we can't wait for this. These two are just perfect in the film.
The bond gently. Feel his strength.
Major relationship goals, right? Going deeper into the story of Avatar: The Way of Water, we have another way how a sequel might be set up. This one is a little crazy, so stay with us. By the end of Avatar 2, Jake and Neytiri wanted to stay with the Metkayina tribe. This was a huge revelation in the film, as many of you should know. However, they didn't forget the fact that they were actually meant to be looking out for the Omaticaya clan.
You hear me? Colonel?
And though this seems just like a normal plot point, it should actually delve heavily into the next film. But how exactly? Well, if theories are to be believed, there will be a pretty significant time jump between Avatar 2 and 3. This should allow all of the clans to ease off their hold so that Jake and his wife can return. The Omaticaya tribe made a lot of changes to their society, and it's all because Jake and Neytiri weren't there. Their leader had left them, which is definitely going to come into play when the family finally returns. We should definitely see some intense conflict between the returning group and the original faction. There's a good chance that feelings of abandonment are going to be brought up by the tribe, along with all the changes to the landscape due to the humans' intervention into their homes and sanctuary. This could be a huge conflict in the next film, and we can't wait to see how it pans out. James Cameron has the mind of a genius, so we're sure that he has thought about all of this going forward in the future.
Look, your heartbeat is fast.
Sorry.
Try to focus.
Avatar is already a franchise about warring factions and their feelings towards one another, so bringing in a situation like this should mean an awesome story next time around. We can't wait. Next, we all know that Quaritch has an eye for revenge. In movies like this, there's always a villain who just cannot stop. Even if something catastrophic is thrown their way, they don't back down from the fight. Avatar has Quaritch to serve this purpose, and he's insane. The future of the Avatar franchise is definitely going to see Quaritch return to take on Jake's clan once again. He's by no means done with his eye for revenge. This insane antagonist has the drive of a god. Quaritch knows what he wants, and he's going to get it. He knows exactly where Jake and his family are situated, so it's going to be no surprise to see him create another attack on the Metkayina. However, is this going to be seen on the screen? Many people assume that Avatar 3 will have a time jump from the second one of at least a few years. And this means that either Quaritch is going to wait for a few years to strike, or his attack will be off screen. Another idea could be that this is the opening to Avatar 3, but we jump forward after that. Iron Jim knows what he wants, so we're sure Avatar 3 will at least feature Quaritch's revenge in some shape or form.
Colonel, stay down! Colonel, space! Corporal Winfrey! Lyle? All right, let me go.
In a lot of James Cameron's movies, acceptance is a key plot point, though Avatar might be quite different from his previous films, and this trend carries 100% into Avatar: The Way of Water. We love to see when the director brings in his traits from previous films, and James Cameron is the master of this. He's such an iconic director for a reason, but how exactly does this relate to Avatar: The Way of Water? Well, one of the biggest plot points in the film was, of course, Spider and his need for acceptance. Throughout the film, he was never truly accepted into the Na'vi as the character was left to fend for himself rather than be with the tribe. It was a really heartbreaking scene to watch, but it looks like Spider is definitely having a cool plotline in Avatar 3. He's going to go absolutely insane, and we cannot wait to see it. From the looks of things, Spider is going to have to deal with an identity crisis in the next film, and as we all know, he was unsure of whether his loyalties were to his father or his adoptive family. It makes sense as well, as most people would have their sort of feeling in the situation, am I right? I mean, come on, he was thrown into this world and had no idea what was going on. You'd be the exact same way, I'm sure of it. The need for acceptance that drives Spider is surely going to be a primary factor for the character's development in the follow-up film. The allegiance that Spider follows is going to come into question when we come away to see the conflict on screen in a few years. Even after we list a few methods in which Avatar: The Way of Water will set up a sequel, we're extremely interested in what's going to happen in the future. This franchise is really shaping up to be something special, am I right? James Cameron is the GOAT for real. And although it's in the title of the film, it's no surprise that The Way of the Water played heavily into the Avatar sequel. I mean, come on, it was extremely obvious from the get-go, right? Well, either way, The Way of Water was huge in the film and in fact should have a massive impact on the future of the franchise going forward.
The way of water has no beginning and no end. In the womb of the water.
Girl, you did this!
One of the most insane things to see in Avatar: The Way of Water was that Carrie had no problems learning about the Way of Water.
Kitty, can you go help your grandmother with the wounded? Please?
Yes. I would use Yana bar.
She was an ace when it came to learning, as she was superior to the other people, which baffled everybody involved. A primary factor in the follow-up to the film is the fact that Carrie was shown asking Neytiri whom she was supposed to be originally. It's one of the biggest mysteries in the entire franchise, and it's insane that we're finally going to get to understand it in the next film.
I was doing that thing again, wasn't I?
People thought that Avatar 2 was going to be a little boring, as it had been over a decade since the first, but were more surprised that this film had an amazing plot as well as amazing effects to go with it.
Dad is going to ground you.
From the mysteries of The Way of the Water to a story of acceptance, these have been 5 ways that Avatar: The Way of the Water sets up a sequel, so we hope you enjoyed it. And that wraps it up for this video. What do you think will happen in Avatar 3 after seeing the sequel, The Way of Water?
New loves.
Demon blood. Alien, that's all they see.
I see you.
Drop a comment below and let us know, and as always, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.